Hello, everyone. We're doing a special second edition of Nothing But Worry on our weekend up in the Georgia foothills, I guess you'd call it. I'm Lance Ash, and with me on the back porch of our rented cottage here at Don Carter, Georgia State Park is my wife, Bonnie.
Hello.
She's sitting too far away for me to hear. Let's see if we can make this any better.
Let's move the table. Oh, and my pants are caught on the table.
You scooting your rocking chair over?
Trying to. So, talk away while I move
Oh,
the furniture.
okay. She's moving the. Okay, there we go. There we go. Let's push that a little bit further. I don't know if we can hear all the sliding and crunching. Anyway, there are 4 of these wooden rocking chairs on this back porch, covered back porch, and they're really nice.
And it looks out over the lake.
Looks out over the lake.
Now, mind you, there's a lot of old hardwoods between us and the lake, but we can still see the lake and hear all the buggies. The cricket started at 3:30 this afternoon.
They've kind of stopped. They're starting back up again, but it rained a little bit. It's been raining a little bit all day, just, sprinkles here and there. But this morning, I woke up right after sunrise, and I got dressed and walked down to the edge of the water.
The boat ramp.
Hold on, I hear a big animal crawling around back down there. Is that a deer? I saw so many deer today. Oh, it's a squirrel. Anyway, I walked down to the water's edge, and in the distance there was a flock of geese floating on the water. Really interesting, but I didn't have my camera with me. And by the time I got my camera, they had flown away. And that's down the hill from the cottage, but up the hill there's a little playground. And it has, there are like 4 or 5 playgrounds on the grounds. And this one has only one, toy attraction, whatever you want to call it. And it's this thing, it's a swing that's on a track. And you start
At the top of an incline, and you sit in it.
and then you slide down, and it carries you all the way back around to the other side. And if you had enough momentum, you'd go right back to where you started, but I didn't have enough momentum to do it.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster because it jolts you so much, but it swings out sideways as you go around this track.
Your centrifugal force throws your legs out. It's really fun. Oh, man. If you're a little kid, you'd love that.
Do you see that spider out there?
Where?
It's right there in the web in the middle.
Oh, yeah. I see him.
It's huge. That's got to be 15 feet out there.
He's probably repairing damage from the
Rain.
He's caught several bugs in his trap.
There are probably a dozen little things waiting for him to snack on.
There's another spider in there with him, much smaller.
It's a goner.
Well, anyway, so when Bonnie got up, she went with me down to the lakeside, and she went up with me up to the playground, and then we drove around and saw they have a sort of a man-made beach at one point on the lake, and they have places you can go fishing, places you can go swimming, places you can go rent a scull, SCULL. I didn't see any oars, though. I guess you rent those separately.
Those were in the lock boxes.
Oh, yeah, okay. And there's a lot of neat things you could do up here.
You rent at the lodge, they give you the keys. They say it's box number 1, skull number 1. And so you pull everything out that you need.
I found a little girl's doll down by the beach, and it was Elsa from Frozen, or one of those characters, the one with the white hair. I was going to keep it as a souvenir of my trip, and Bonnie said, no, a little girl may have lost it. So I took it to the visitor center and told them it's for lost and found. I found it at the beach, blah, blah, blah. And, our intention was to go into Gainesville and eat at restaurants and poke around, but we decided, just stay here, screw it.
And as usual, I brought too much food.
So we got plenty of food. I wound up having to throw away half this tortellini that she made because I ate and ate and ate on it and I couldn't finish it.
I can't eat it because it's cheese. So
She made me was that this morning you made the chick patty for me?
chick patty sandwich. Yeah.
Vegetarian chick patty.
Pasta salad. It's the soy bacon bits in it, but it's based on the suddenly salad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy the suddenly salad; it's so expensive. But make a version of it.
I could have done with more garlic in it. I can taste that garlic powder, but it needed. I think I could take even more.
Ew.
But one of the many things we forgot on the trip is I'm making a list of things for next time. But one of the many things we forgot is hot sauce or cayenne pepper powder or smoked paprika.
Or your garlic chili chutney, or you have so many things you add.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm so used to having a little bit of bite, to my food that I couldn't. That's one of the reasons I couldn't eat the tortellini because it was just plain old marinara sauce.
Or as you rudely say, give me some flavor.
Got to add some flavor to it.
Shut up, fool. I don't know how you can taste anything over that hot sauce.
It accentuates the flavor the way that salt does for some people with food.
Salt works with the other flavors. Your stuff masks the flavor a lot of the time. That's why I tell you, taste it first, please, before you add something.
I tried watching television a little bit this afternoon. And it's cable, but it's only like 9 channels, 10 channels. One of them is CNN. One of them is a religious broadcaster. One of them is PBS, which is usually fine, but at the time I turned it on, it was Antiques Roadshow, which I hate. And the rest of it was sports. And
Zero interest.
yeah. And today is still Friday, the 1st. I have finished 2 books, finished reading 2 books on this trip, and I'm going to try, I doubt I'll do a third, but we'll see.
I brought 6 books, and I've only gotten through about a third of one of them.
Yeah,
I keep falling asleep.
yeah, you really got to knuckle down. You think, well, it's peace and quiet, and I'll get so much reading done.
And then you're out like a light.
Yeah, there's only so many pages you can read in an hour or 2. Especially if you really want to dig into it, if you're just skimming. Years and years, for years I told myself, I'm going to read War and Peace one day. I'm going to read War and Peace one day. It is just the most boring pile of shit. And the last, I swear to God, 300 or 400 pages, I just drug my eyeballs over each word just so I could say I read it. But I didn't comprehend any of it.
So I'm reading the book. I woke up this morning. I had a morning day nap before lunch. I had an afternoon nap. I'm considering another one. But I went in there to read in the afternoon, and I'm reading, and at some point I just pass out. And the next thing I know is I'm waking up going, wait a minute, did she write that dream?
I thought I brought my list of things that we forgot to bring, or next time.
Have you checked your thing to make certain it's recording properly?
Yeah, we are 9 minutes in.
Okay.
But we were seriously thinking about running down to the visitor center and seeing if they had a pack of playing cards we could buy. Hear that? Squirrels chittering away in the distance. And there's a bird of some sort. When I went out for my walk this morning, coming back, a deer and I were like 10 feet away from each other, staring right at each other.
Yeah, we went down to the equestrian center at one point today, and there were 3 or 4 deer just gathered there, and it's like deer. So, pull out the camera, clicking, and I think, let's try a flash, see if it scares them. Nope, flash didn't even scare them. They're so used to people around here.
I'm going to find whatever the appropriate venue is online. I'm gonna leave a glowing review of this place because I did not expect it to be this relatively luxurious and this peaceful
We
And
could have done with some recliners.
yeah, okay. Some of the things. Okay, I'm gonna leave this with you, and I'm gonna go get the list of things we should have brought. Well, it's a list of things to bring next time because we're gonna do this again. Okay, I'll be right back. You can talk amongst yourselves in my absence.
Oh, Mayway.
Yeah. He's a bastard. Call the cops.
I hate him. Get your ass back out here, old man. The furniture is definitely a little too hard. That's for sure. Hard furniture.
I don't mind the furniture. Bonnie's more, Princess and the Pea.
Yes, I am. I like my ass screw on the couch.
Very sensitive, tender. All right, this is the
Tender buttocks.
list for next time. Stocking hat. In a place like this, I like to sleep with a hat on. Bonnie said that she should have brought some house slippers.
Yes.
We should have brought some games. At the very least, a deck of cards and my portable Scrabble game. Pillows from home, because whereas the mattress, I love the mattress, but the pillows are big, hard, stiff. They're like, can be used as a flotation device in case of an emergency, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you feel like you need to deflate them. They're so stiff.
And I should have brought a magazine or two just to have something to look at. I like to look at pictures when I'm eating. And that's about it, really.
Less food. Definitely less food.
Yeah, we brought way too much food.
Lightning burgers and chick patties and
Tortellini,
yeah.
salad fixings, and you forgot to bring some. You were going to bring the stuff to make yogurt parfaits with.
Yeah, I only brought the granola and didn't bring the fruit or the yogurt for you.
She brought her own booze just in case she had trouble with pain.
Yeah.
She brought homemade pasta salad, homemade egg salad, pickled okra.
We haven't broken into that yet.
We got loaf bread. We got
Soy ham.
yeah. We
And
got
Swiss cheese
sliced Swiss
and
cheese,
tomatoes,
tomatoes, lettuce, three different kinds of
pepper.
cookies, three different kinds of crackers.
S'mores fixings.
You're right. Marshmallows, graham crackers. And plus, we had intended to go out to eat in Gainesville, and there's no way we could have done all that.
No. No way.
The one thing we're going to do after we pack up tomorrow to leave, we're going to hit the Gainesville Library and just drive around and look at the town. But we're not really going to go anywhere besides that. We're going to head straight home.
Yeah.
And then our son is away for the weekend as well. He and his girlfriend went on to the other side of Atlanta, the western side of Atlanta, to a town called Villa Rica. And they're going to attend a wedding. Tonight with one of his friends getting married, and they got a hotel room. First time Peter's ever gotten a hotel room on his own.
Yeah, that's so weird.
He's 26. By the time I was 26, I'd rented hotel rooms.
Dozens of times, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I camped out and literally slept in my car.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was telling you, I was in this one hotel, the King Christoph Hotel, and there were sleeping porches in it. And I remember sleeping on a bed on one of the sleeping porches. It was phenomenal. And that was one of those hotels that had a courtyard in the middle, because it was made in the Spanish style of design. And, King Christoph, I guess you kind of figured that out. But the inside, there were corridors around the interior of the courtyard. And there was a garden in there. And then the dining area opened up big doors into that. And we were there, eating seafood and everything. And Peter's never had those luxurious experiences or even the camping experiences.
Well, not only
Building
that, sort of a
farm.
mild sense of adventure. You're on your own and doing something,
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't know anything about that.
He's never gone rafting. I was thinking a couple hours north of here is Nantahala Forest, and we went rafting up there, and just whitewater rafting. It was fabulous, and we shared a tent, and then I ended up getting claustrophobic in the middle of the night and went out and slept under the stars. Peter's never done any of that, not even at home as a child.
You know, this back porch that we're sitting on right now, it's covered, but it's not screened in. And if it was screened in, you could sleep out here. There are ceiling fans out here, and
It just needs a bed.
yeah, if you
Yeah, and sleeping out on porches is very nice, I can assure you.
you know that hammock we've got at home,
Oh, God.
it's all beat up now. But when it was in its
We could set
prime,
it up and lay
you
it
could
out
sleep
there.
out here in a hammock easily.
Well, I couldn't. I would roll off on the floor knowing my luck. Go tumbling down the stairs.
I don't know. That was a pretty big hammock. Years ago, I guess Reed was able to. She was old enough to go to school then, but Peter wasn't old enough to go to school yet. I came home from work. It was a sunny day, warm day, and I parked in. This is at the old house. I parked and got out of the car, and Bonnie was asleep in the hammock with little Peter asleep on her chest with his little he had blonde curly hair when he was little, and I snuck up on them with the camera and took a picture, and they never woke up. They never knew until I got the photos developed.
I slept with one leg off and did pillows on one side on the floor.
And Bonnie has got that picture framed, and it's one of her favorite pictures.
Yeah, that blonde curly hair he used to have. The sunlight would hit it, and you could see his little scalp. He was just so sweet and so tiny. By tiny, I mean he was 9 pounds when he was born, and probably 14 or 15 pounds at the time you took that picture.
I was thinking about what a big eater he was as a kid.
God, he used to drive me dry.
Whereas Reed, on the other thing, when she was little and breastfeeding,
asleep.
she would start breastfeeding and then she'd go to sleep. And Bonnie had to wake up. Reed, you got to wake up and keep
Wake
eating.
up, eat.
One day, I swear to God, she was old enough to talk, but I don't know if she was going to, she couldn't have possibly have been going to school yet. But she was such a indifferent eater that I swear to God, she didn't eat for like 2 days straight, and it worried the shit out of us. So we sat her down and just ordered her to eat a peanut butter sandwich. We were just, eat it, screaming at her, eat it. And she was crying. And when she got finished eating it, now we were like, don't you feel better? And she's crying. She goes, mm-hmm.
She would sit there and drink milk all day. That's all she would do. She just did not want to eat. I don't know why.
When they went through a phase when they were little where they basically lived on spaghetti and mashed potatoes.
Well, there was also the mac and cheese that I mixed in the frozen spinach.
One of my great ideas, by the way.
Oh, yeah. And then for a while, I thought they weren't getting enough of a balanced meal. In addition to their vitamins, I would make them drink their medicine, which was V8 juice.
Drink your medicine. I went through
It's not negotiable. Yeah.
I went through a phase where I drank V8 many years ago. I don't know why I thought it was so great. There are animals running around down there.
This is the squirrel. See? Right here on the...
I keep thinking I'm going to see a deer.
They're noisy little critters.
I'm really surprised we haven't seen more people. There are 8 cottages here, and I've only seen one other one with people in it besides us this
I think
weekend.
I heard somebody over there just a moment ago on their porch.
There were only one of the cottages had a car in front of it. No, or there was 2 cars from Florida, the cottage next door, and that's it.
They have them all as booked this weekend.
Maybe the people coming in tonight, late from Tennessee or
As long
God
as
knows
they
where.
Check in and get all the codes they need by the time the office closes. They're fine. Yeah, they let you come and go 24 hours from this park. You have 2 different gate codes. One is the main gate, and then the second one is right near one of the forest ranger's houses. And then we live next to the forest ranger. He's right here at the cottages, another one. So I feel very safe. And we're on a peninsula sort of thing. And while we have a boat ramp next to us, it's posted state property, no trespassing.
Yeah. Now on the other side of the water, that's
Private homes.
that's private homes, and there's all kinds of little boat docks and things on the other side of the shore. I would say if you're standing down at the water's edge, the other side of the water is probably maybe a quarter mile away. Maybe not even that. Maybe a fifth of a mile away.
Well, it's far.
Maybe it's a quarter. Maybe it's a third. I mean, it's not.
I mean,
It's
the
not that far, but
They have several boat ramps over there that have covered awnings, and those look like they're an inch tall, so it's a good distance away.
yeah.
I wouldn't want to have to swim it, I'll tell you that.
There are some big fish out there because I saw, them sort of breaching the surface to catch insects that landed on the surface or something. And then, like I
This
said,
is Terrapin Bay or something, right?
well, they call this boat ramp is called Terrapin Cove,
Is that
but I
what
don't
it
think that
is?
means anything. But the flock of geese that I saw was maybe 15, 20 of them. Hard to say.
You guys said stop for bathroom break, huh?
Well, it's probably safer for them to spend the evening sleeping floating on the water than it is because they don't roost in trees. And there are bobcats and stuff around here. So.
That's true. I just don't know how cold it gets. Of course, they're Canadian geese, so this is temperate.
Right. Their feathers are oiled to make them waterproof. So it probably holds in heat as well. Well, I do wish we'd brought Scrabble. That would have been fun.
Well, I think we should play the drawing game later.
Yeah, when the kids were little, we had a little thing we did called the drawing game. Everybody would have a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, and we'd take turns and we'd say, okay, everybody draw a cat, or everybody draw a lamp, or everybody draw a house, or everybody draw a man with a beard, or whatever. And then we'd get done, and everybody done? Okay, everybody show each other what you've drawn, and that was just a lot of
You
fun.
kept a lot of those drawings, didn't you?
I got them in a folder somewhere, a big stack of stuff like that. I save everything.
You're a damn hoarder.
Years ago, we were watching CSI, and there was some woman who was a hoarder,
And her daughter was dead in the house.
and they were taking the report or something, and the investigator's pen ran out of ink. And he started to throw the pen away. He said, "Oh, it's out of ink. I throw it away." And the hoarder woman said, "But you're throwing that away? That was the pen you used to write up so and so's death certificate with." Like everything has a sentimental value or mnemonic association with it, so you can't throw it away, or else you're losing that memory.
I unfortunately have a hoarder in my family, and I will not deal with her anymore because she's absolutely crazy. And
Well, I do understand the notion of wanting to preserve memories, and so you're like, but this is the rock I found on the trip to so and so.
But her hoarding's so bad that she would go shopping, bring home the shopping that she had done, leave it in the bag with the receipt,
With the tags on
with the
now,
tags on for years, never using it.
just draped over the sofa, piles of dresses and dress suits and stuff and slacks, never worn. Just go keep buying stuff, just for the hell of it, to assuage this burning hole in your heart.
Yeah, where was her Jesus then?
Where's your Messiah now? Eh?
What's that from?
It's The Simpsons. Chief Wickham asked somebody that. Oh, wow.
See, you smell it now? A little bit of wood smoke coming in?
Maybe. It just smells like a forest to me. Wait, listen. Yeah, the crickets are starting up again. They stopped a little bit because of the rain, but now they're coming in full strength. Thank God the cicadas are over with. That drove me bonkers. And it wasn't even as bad as it could have been.
No, we've had worse years. Hey, did you see that picture that Peter and I got? We each took a picture of the cicada wing on the front step.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And it was covered with dew. And it was set on a porch rug, which was a zigzag of blue and white.
And it matched
And
up.
then the cicada wing was right there in amidst that zigzag, and it had blue and other colors in it, and
Right.
it was iridescent, and then the dew on it also glowed, and the dew was little bubbles of dew.
I used it
It was
for the
beautiful.
photo accompaniment to one of these videos.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You didn't get my permission to use my photography.
Oh, I believe I did.
Oh, you probably did. I don't care.
I've been freezing the last 24 hours, and today I finally figured out, oh, the heater's not on in here. The central heat's not on. So I turned it on, and it was okay, but it still wasn't enough. And Bonnie brought a little tiny
Space heater.
space heater, and we turned it on, and within 6 minutes, that whole space in there was nice and warm. This little tiny space heater.
Well, it didn't take much just to knock the chill off.
Yeah.
I'm still rather tempted to do the wood heater, but I figure I'll go over to my dad's and use his wood stove at some point, and that'll sate my desire to have a roaring fire.
If we lit a fire in that wood stove, we'd have to deal with it before we leave, and I don't want to deal with all
Clear the
that.
ashes out, I know.
Oh, Lord. They've got what they used to call an ash can in there. And you scrape the hot stuff into the ash can and take it out, and they have a special receptacle for stuff like that outside.
Oh, tell them about this over here. They are prepared for everything.
Yeah, there's a plastic cupboard thing here on the back porch, and there's nothing in it but a great big bag of something. I didn't know what it was at first, and I took a closer look, and it's de-icing salt with a little scoop. So in case
Yeah.
we're here in the winter and the back steps freeze over, you can
Or the
dump
front
it,
steps.
or this front, you can just dump this stuff out, and I guess it makes it safer.
Yeah, there's a walkway from our parking spaces. It's a little zigzag a thing that gets us down the hill a little bit. So the whole place is just so nice. It really is. We'll have to post some pictures that we took,
Yeah.
assuming my hand was steady enough to take photographs.
I'm gonna post some pictures on my blog, and I'm gonna put one to accompany these two Nothing But Worry videos.
Yeah.
I guess the real reason we're making a second video is because there's nothing else to do but read, which is fine.
I've got my puzzles and reading, and I do need to do some dishes, dear.
We're required to wash the dishes before we leave and take all the linens from the bed and stuff them in a pillowcase, any towels we might have used, to make things easier for the housekeeping staff.
It just keeps the cost down because they don't have a traditional staff. You have
Yeah.
the same people who wash the linens come in and sweep up and clean the surfaces for the next crew of people.
I finally did get the big TV in the main room working. It's also cable. There's no internet access because it's a TV like the one we have at home. You know, where Roku would have the what do you call it? The access to YouTube and Netflix and stuff. But that's not available because we don't have a portable Wi-Fi thing. I believe that's a motorboat coming towards us down the water. No, is it? Or is it a car in the distance?
Well, that's not a car.
I
It's a
don't,
boat on the river.
are you sure? I don't see anybody.
Don't I see one right there?
It's gotta be a boat.
It's coming at us.
I don't see, hold on, let me go over here where I can see.
Well, you can hear the sound coming at us.
There he is. Yeah.
What type?
It's a little bitty boat. They've put an outboard motor on the back. Oh, he's turning around and going back.
I knew I sighted something through the leaves. I couldn't quite make it out. Well, good riddance. It's loud and noisy.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, they can't stop people from doing it, especially since that's private over there.
Still, it is noisy.
Anyway. Well, with nothing better to talk about, I'll bring up an unpleasant subject. Turned on CNN and. What?
You watched CNN for a while?
Yeah, there was nothing else. I turned the TV on, like I said, and it had a little snippet from I guess, couple of questions that Kamala Harris took from the press, and that was a lead into a discussion of where the race stands as of now, and she just seems so much more intelligent, competent, eloquent, and sane, and up to the task than her unfortunate adversary.
I remember voting for Billy Pitter for county commissioner, and he was a Republican. And he was just the nicest person. Our kids went to school with him. And I realized after they put Trump in charge of the party, and as president, you become the head of your party, I would never vote for another fucking Republican, even Billy Pitter, ever again. Because if they are willing to overlook everything that Trump is and has been, there's nothing left in that party for me to in any way align myself with.
Well, they're so convinced. They know that Trump is flawed. A lot of them know he's flawed. But their conception of what the Democratic Party stands for is so associated with absolute blackest night evil that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who the Republicans put up. He's their man. As long as you vote against the Democrat. See, the thing is, I'm not a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat. There are certain Democrats that I would not vote for. I wouldn't vote for Zell Miller. I wouldn't vote for Joe Manchin. I wouldn't vote for Kristen Sinema. I wouldn't vote for a lot of them.
Yeah.
Zell Miller was a crazy person.
He became that way. For a while he was okay. Do you know that he was at the Democratic National Convention when Bill Clinton was nominated the first time? He was one of the keynote speakers, and he was fabulous. But something went really, really wrong. I think the last gubernatorial inauguration I went to in person was for him.
I remember seeing, oh God, what was that guy's name? Was it Mac Mattingly, or was it, no, it was,
The wheelchair guy?
No, the guy whose father, it was Talmadge.
Oh, God.
I believe, didn't he have a great big mop of like Walter Matthau hair on his head?
I remember that.
I saw him speak at the depot in Crawford when I must have been about 10 years old.
I remember how excited my granny was that a local boy was running for president when Jimmy Carter was running, because Plains is just down the road from Butler, the way they thought about things. Wasn't as far as going to Columbus to go shopping,
Well, we went on right around the time he was elected, we went on a postal convention vacation somewhere, and his mother was there.
Carter's mother.
Jimmy Carter's mother, Lillian, was there. Ms. Lillian was there, and my mother and father got to meet her, and they were so excited. This is back when my parents still were willing to vote for Democratic.
That damn fool's coming back.
That guy's coming back. He's going to go up and down the river just like a redneck in his four-wheeler.
I see him. It's the equivalent of those small penis trucks people drive around, revving everything up. Look at me. I see it now, clear as day.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me get a good shot here.
Ripping through it.
Oh, that's more like a little speeder thing. Yeah.
No way. Is that one of those little Sea Dog, or what is it?
It looks like one of those boats that the Navy used to use, like for, 3, 4, 5 guys, but it had a really nice outboard motor on the back.
Really loud one.
One of my favorite scenes in Apocalypse Now is where Martin Sheen joins up with the guys on the boat. They're river patrolling guys, and they're supposed to take him down the river to so and so. But they also have their main mission, their regular mission, which is stop all boats and check to see, So there's like a Vietnamese peasant family transporting goods to market on the boat, on this little bitty boat, and the guy in charge of the boat is going to stop them. And Martin Sheen's like, "Don't worry about that. Your main mission is to get me down the river." And he goes, "No, I have to do my primary mission, and I got to stop and search this boat." Something goes wrong. They butcher everybody on board the boat, and this one girl's left alive. And oh, she's still alive. What do we do? What do we do? Martin Sheen comes up and blows her brains out. And they all stop dead silent and look at him like, "I can't believe you did that." And Martin Sheen goes, "I told you not to stop. Now let's go." Oh, it's a great scene. Another one of my favorite lines in that movie. They stop at this bridge that's being shelled at night, and there are tracer rounds lighting everything up, and they don't know what's going on. Americans are holding this bridge at night, and Martin Sheen says, "You guys stay here. I'll go find out what's going on." He's going around through all these troops that are just half mad with fear and mania, and he comes across this one guy, and he goes, "Sergeant," or whatever his name. He goes, "Who's in charge?" And the guy goes, "Ain't you?"
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord. Whatever happened to Francis Ford Coppola? Apparently this new movie, Megalopolis, is just piffle.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
I'll tell you a small movie he did that was good was Peggy Sue Got Married. You ever see that?
Nicolas Cage and Kathleen Turner.
Yeah.
And the idea is that she could maybe go back in time?
She goes back in time to be who she was in high school. And the guy who she later married and then divorced, Nicolas Cage, is her boyfriend in high school. There's geese. You can hear them.
Oh, the geese are getting scared by this idiot on the boat.
Yeah, there they go. He has no point in doing that, just to go up and down the river for the feeling of hair being blown across his face. That's it. But anyway, the Nicolas Cage later turns out to be a big loser, and she leaves him. But when she goes back in time to be who she was in high school, she feels like this is a second chance to turn him around and make him not be a loser. And she gives him the lyrics to "She Loves You" by the Beatles, and goes, "Here, do this song and you'll be a big hit." And he goes, "I took a look at those lyrics you gave me. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah." He goes, I made them better. It's "She loves you, woo, woo, woo."
Oh, my God. Well, I think my favorite Nicolas Cage movie was Moonstruck.
Yeah.
No. It's Raising Arizona.
Yeah, yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, that's more a Nicolas Cage movie than Moonstruck. Moonstruck is a share vehicle down the line.
Yeah.
Olympia Dukakis.
Funny in it.
What was her husband? Was that Vince Gardenia? No, what was that guy's name?
Olympia Dukakis' husband? I have no idea.
He's cheating on her with that redhead, and she asked Danny Aiello, "Why do men cheat?" And he goes, "Fear of death." She goes, "That's right, that's right."
I think it was the father of Frasier she asked that of. Wasn't she having...
No. I think she has two different people. That's right. She goes on a date because her husband's cheating on her. She goes on a date with John Mahoney. But then later, Danny Aiello comes over to visit for some reason. He's waiting to talk to somebody. And while he's waiting, she makes a conversation with him. She goes, "Why do men cheat?" He goes, "I don't know. Fear of death." And she goes, Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're right. She does go on a date with John Mahoney. I forgot about that.
I don't know if it was a date. I think she was dining alone and he joined her.
That's right.
Because
God, you've seen it.
I've seen it numerous times, 5 times easily.
But that guy's name, it wasn't Vince Gardenia. It was He was the father on Breaking Bad with Sean Cassidy, the TV show.
Lance, I have no idea.
You don't remember that?
I remember breaking whatever it was because I went down to the University of Georgia campus and watched filming.
Yeah, they filmed that show in Athens.
And I remember being in front of the military ROTC building and him swooping by.
Well,
But still, David Cassidy's little song was the one that I liked over anything to do with Sean Cassidy.
they were filming a scene in front of the Georgia Hotel, and my sister and I walked up and were looking at them, and they're taking a break. And Sean Cassidy was talking to these two girls during the break in the filming, and I walked up and I was like 5 feet away from him, and I couldn't believe how much makeup was on his face because the filming they have to do that.
Well, with the lights, they shine on them, make certain they have the shadows and
Right.
taken care of. And once you get in front of the lights, you get washed out, and that's why they do all those highlight lines and such.
But I remember standing there looking at him and thinking, he is supposed to be really good looking. He's supposed to be really cute and desirable. And this is what I'm supposed to aspire to be. And I was like, he looks like a little.
Little waif.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do I know? When I was a kid, I wanted to look like, I wanted to have Greg Evigan's hair. And,
Trying to think, the last person we saw that was Harley Cross.
what are you talking about? A celebrity?
Yeah, I think.
In person?
Yeah, I mean, he borrowed a camera lens from me.
Well, we saw Steve Martin walking across the street in Athens the day they had the film.
Not Monroe, Madison. They
No,
were down there doing something or another.
there was a film festival in
Yeah.
town at Athens, and we were driving down there.
And that guy,
And-
Kyle, what's his name, that
and-
was in Super 8, was in Athens filming something. We saw him. I saw him.
And Steve Martin walked across the street right in front of us, and I was like, "What is he doing here?" And then somebody said, "They have a film festival here in town. That must be why he's here."
Didn't we see Kim Basinger somewhere?
I don't know about that.
You saw somebody at the Atlanta airport scare the shit out of him.
Oh yeah,
David
I
Spade?
saw David Spade and his bodyguard on one of the train things that they carry you from the main terminal down to the concourses.
Yeah.
He's a little bitty thing.
Yeah, he's a little wimp.
Yeah, I never thought much of him.
I don't think I've ever been starstruck with anybody.
Starstruck?
Mm-mm.
Meaning what? Just so
Ooh,
agog that
yeah.
you can't believe it?
I mean, even seeing Sean Cassidy when I was young, filming that. What is it, Breaking Away?
Breaking. Wait, did I say Breaking Bad the first time? I meant to say
Yes,
Breaking
I
Away.
think you did.
Breaking Away.
And,
He was in the movie version, and then they made a TV show which went nowhere.
yeah.
The reason I keep thinking that guy, why do I keep thinking that his father's name was Vince Gardenia?
I don't know, babe.
But anyway,
Look it up.
there
Sure,
was.
on the internet, we can look it up now.
Well, I tell you, that is one of the. I think it's good for us to get away from the instant gratification of the internet and all the other shit for a couple of days. Just unplug your brain from the
You didn't finish that Kamala story. Kamala on CNN. You just
Well-
saw her, and that was it. There was nothing newsworthy.
Well, no. What was interesting? She's. I don't know what they asked her, but her answer was basically, well, the distinction between Trump and me is he wants to use the armed forces to round up American citizens that he disagrees with, whose opinions he doesn't like, whereas I want to seek out and hear the opinions of everybody. That's why I'm going to include a Republican in my cabinet, because I enjoy hearing the other side and debating with them and
Working with
Yeah,
them.
right.
Working with them.
yeah, I don't want to just shut down people because I disagree with them.
Or shut down the government.
Right. And then she said, and then she looked at her like, "Is that it? All the questions?" And then she walked off. She's at the airport getting ready to get on the plane. And then they cut back to the studio, and there was the two CNN people talking to two, campaign experts. One was a Republican, one was a Democrat. The Democrat was wearing a stupid big cowboy hat in the studio being filmed.
How rude.
Listen, maybe it's your image that you dress like a cowboy,
Take your hat
but
off
you're in
indoors.
public, you're in the indoors being filmed in a studio. Take the hat off, okay? Well, I always wear a painted on mustache and a clown nose.
Oh, God. What's the famous British party? Stark Raving Loony, what is it?
The Stark Raving Monster Loony party.
Yeah, at least they're honest about being idiots.
The
And then in South America, they've had a couple of people that ran and were elected, and they were in clown attire.
Well, there's a guy who's a member of the European Parliament who wears like a green wig, and
Yeah.
he says stupid things just because he wants to be as absurdist as possible.
And then there's Marjorie Taylor Greene, who says space lasers and they control the weather.
Yeah, she's every bit as much
She's a loon.
fringe loon party member too. It's just that she doesn't realize it. I think she does it though on purpose just to get
She gets
attention.
attention.
Yeah.
You know who's been strangely quiet this election cycle? Lauren Boobies Boebert.
Well,
She moved to a different district.
I think that she realized. I think she's got just enough brains to realize that she's pushed it about as far as she can go. So the best thing
And
to do is
she's
to.
become a grandmother, hasn't she? At age, 38?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, she herself got knocked up at 16 or 17.
Talk about a lot of makeup. Jesus.
And her sons followed in her tradition, knocking up some 15-year-old girl. He's 17, 18?
I have to take a break. I'm going to pause this. I'll be right back. Went and got a couple cups of tea. I'm using the teacups or / coffee cups that they have here, and I like them because they're a little smaller than the ones we have at home.
Wait a minute, I got the big ones. I kept the big ones that we have, that Catherine gave us, because you said, oh, this is the perfect size.
Well, they are, but I wind up putting.
Too many tea bags in?
No, it's just that it's a little more water. This makes the tea a little bit more concentrated. I have found over the years that 2 tea bags is about the maximum, to be honest. Because if you put 3 tea bags in, you really don't get much more result than you do with 2. And you got to fill the cup up with so much water that you're better off just using 2 tea bags. That's just about the max. I get I don't even know what brand it is, but you get it at Kroger. It's a no-name brand tea. 100 tea bags for $2. No tag, no envelope, no staple, no string. It's just so much more convenient. I don't know what people think they're doing, it's tradition to have the little tag and the string and the envelope. No, it's a waste of time and it's a waste of paper, it's a waste of trees, a waste of resources.
I see what you're saying, and if you were truly into it, you'd be having loose tea. We've got the tea balls.
I agree. The problem is I can't stand getting little bits of tea leaf in my mouth.
Well, the thing with me and tea and my appreciation of tea is this. I buy the Twinings tea and other types. They have different flavors. And by having them individually sealed in foil packages, I don't buy the paper packages. The foil keeps them nice and fresh for a long period of time. So I can have Darjeeling, I can have my cardamom tea, I can have my ginger lemon. I don't have to feel obliged to drink it up in a certain time period.
You like Earl Grey?
I do not. I like Lady Grey.
What's the difference?
one has bergamot in it and the other does not.
Hmm.
And it just has a little bit of a tang that I don't care for. I find the Lady Grey to be, as her name, more genteel.
Bergamot is sort of a citrus type thing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. As a matter of fact, I think it was the substitute here in the colonies for when we turned our back on tea, thanks to the Tax Act and everything that led to the whole American Revolution. Because we not only dumped the tea, we stopped using it. There was
Well, if I had my preference, I actually prefer green tea. It has less caffeine in it, and it also has a wider variety of flavors. It's a little bit more raw tasting. And
more
Tetley,
and you don't want it.
well, the thing is, up at the DeKalb Farmers Market, you can buy loose green tea for cheap, 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 and you buy your own tea bags. And you just use a little spoon and pour the loose tea into the tea bag, and then you just
Or into a tea ball.
or yeah. And but I used to get the Tetley green tea in these circular tea bags, and it was really good, but it was got to be expensive. Yeah,
$4.59, $4.69. It's gone up even more. Now
yeah.
you used to get the Oyoko Japanese green tea.
Oyocho, Oyocha, something I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, it's a bottled Japanese green tea, and it's pretty good. Yeah.
I've never liked green tea ever. I've gotten to the point where I have oat milk if I have tea, and I have sweet and low.
Next time we go to DeKalb, I want to get the powdered matcha and see what that's like. See what it tastes like. I don't think I've ever had it. I've had matcha flavored candy, but I haven't really.
Yeah. Huh. Now, what was that thing that you got that's supposed to be drunk out of a gourd with a special type of
Mate.
filter? Mate. And where's that from? Is it Peru?
South America, yeah.
Somewhere in South America. Okay.
It's funny you mentioned that. I'm reading Hopscotch by Julio Cortázar, and the characters all drink mate because it reminds them of being home in South America.
Now, doesn't that traditionally come with a straw?
It's a special
that has
kind
a
of
small filter kind of thing?
right.
To keep you from sucking up the stuff?
Yeah. It's a specially made gourd with a hole on the end. You put the mate in the hot water, and you put this special kind of sipper spoon thing,
Yeah, the bottom
and
of
it's
it is
called a
slightly
bombadilla, I
flared.
believe, or a bombilla, something like that.
The bottom of the straw is flared so that you can stir up the
Right.
sediment and try to get it to disintegrate.
And you sip through the straw, but it strains out the leaves and
Yeah.
stems and sticks and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And
You hear the
it has
geese?
sticks in it.
I bought a big bag of mate years ago at that Mexican grocery or Latina grocery next door to
At Normal
Agualinda, yeah.
Yeah.
And I tried it, and I just found, first of all, I don't have the gourd and the separate special
We
straw.
did try to find it at Buford Highway.
We ought to try to do that again. I bet you they do have Beaufort Highway now.
I bet you they have the gourd and everything.
Yeah.
At the one in Athens though, and they've got that string of Mexican groceries out next to the Petroleum Distribution Center. The big
Yeah,
tanks.
I think you have to go to a specifically South American one. But the thing is, mate, I didn't drink it enough to really get into it. I really don't know the relative caffeine amounts. I know that it's less than, I think it's about the same as tea, really. But
Do you realize that when I was pregnant with Reed, I had to research how many Dr. Peppers I could have a day because I was so addicted to caffeine. And now I can barely touch the stuff without it causing problems in my heart.
I used to be a big coffee drinker, but I just got to the point where I prefer tea.
We don't even have a coffee maker in our house. And our daughter got into having coffee when she was growing up. And you were drinking coffee for a short while and you stopped. And so we sent her out of the house with our coffee maker, and we never got a replacement. But my dad is a coffee drinker. So I keep these little sleeves of instant coffee by Folgers. It's like 6, 9, 10 sleeves for $1, and it lasts forever because it's a foil pouch. And you just pour it into the boiling water.
Did you get it at the dollar store? Where'd you get that at?
It's at Walmart. They have
Oh.
it in the coffee section, and I have a couple of those. Keep one of those packages for my dad, by the way.
Okay.
But we're gonna have my folks over
When?
the day before your birthday. The week that you have off, we're gonna start the week by having a
Court hearing.
no, that's the week before. I keep telling you that.
No, it's the 18th.
Your birthday is the 25th, and that is on like a Monday or something. But we're gonna have Reed and Andrew and Peter and Megan and us and my parents, Steve and Stephanie, over, and we're gonna do a charcuterie type of thing, which is what we did for years with the kids, which was clear the butcher block table in the kitchen off and cover it with food. We got all kinds of cheeses and vegetables and dips and crackers and breads and fig jam. We can do that fig jam spread too.
Years ago, when we lived in our old place, which was this rattle trap of a 30-year-old trailer, my parents were in between houses, so they were staying in this rented trailer a couple miles down the road, and it was even smaller than what we were living in. And my sister, I don't know what the deal with her was, but anyway, so thanks for like a couple of holidays, we had the big family get together at our little dinky place. Yeah. Well, anyway, we were sitting around the kitchen table, and Bonnie had this really nice baker's rack, heavy duty steel, and we had all the spices that we bought, in bulk up at DeKalb Farmers Market. We had on this rack right next to the kitchen table, and somehow we got to talking about it, and we started passing around the spices in the little plastic tubs, and everybody sniffing them. Yeah. And I remember my sister's husband at the time,
thinking we were crazy.
He must have thought we were crazy, but it is a lot of fun to smell all these weird spices, cumin and blackened caraway seeds have a nice smell, cardamom has a nice smell, turmeric, all this stuff, curry powder, different kinds, garam masala. Yeah. They all have nice smells.
I got rid of the last of the garam masala this week. I don't particularly care for it. It has too much cinnamon flavor, which is strange given how much I love cinnamon, but I think it overwhelms. And I now use biryani masala, and basically it means that it is a blend of spices that is generally used for a particular dish when you name these things. And I think mine may be a default chicken spice from, I think, northern India, Pakistan area. And it has become a staple.
Oh, parenthetically, let me bring up something. Years ago, when Bonnie and I first got into Indian food and decided, we ought to start trying to learn how to make it, So I found this old lady on YouTube, had a YouTube channel, showed you how to make her favorite Indian dishes. She's this old Indian lady. And I could not think of the name. I couldn't remember it because Amma is Hindi for grandmother. So I thought maybe it's Amma's kitchen, or is it Finally, somehow I figured out it's Manjula's kitchen, and she shows you how to make all this stuff. And there's one of her videos is for making onion pakoras, which let me tell you, if you've had them made fresh and hot, they're fantastic. It's slivered onion rolled in a spiced batter, right? And then you deep fry it.
You make the spice mixture with flour, and you cut up the vegetables that you want to go in it, and you just roll it together, and you give it a couple of seconds, and there's salt in that mixture, and so what it does is it draws out the liquid in the vegetables, and so it makes it more compact and begins to gel up. It becomes to liquefy a little bit. So mixing the vegetables and the flour, it then combines and clumps together, and then you drop it in the oil hot.
Yeah, but it's not like you know how like when you make a hush puppy, it's like a sphere. This is more like
It's like a
jagged.
tennis ball.
But no, what I'm saying is it's not like a ball. It's like
No, it's
jagged and
Yes.
like lots of
Edges.
edges and crispy.
So that
It's
makes
more
it
crispy and crunchy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Years ago, maybe 5 years ago, we went to Cheerians, which is an Indian grocery in Decatur, and we bought fresh made onion pakoras and fresh made samosas, the big
And
ones,
lentil donuts.
and lentil donuts. I can't remember what they're called, but anyway.
I don't know what they're called either.
So they gave us all this stuff in a couple of styrofoam boxes with the dipping sauces. You got coconut chutney and you got the mint chutney. And we drove down to this abandoned mall down the road, and we ate in the car for
We
lunch.
spread it all across the dash.
It was-
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was fresh samosas.
The fresh onion pakoras. Oh my God.
I'll give you the opposite example.
One.
There is on Jimmy Carter off 85 there's an exit, the Jimmy Carter Boulevard exit. There's a mall that's all owned by Indian businesses called Global Mall, and upstairs there's one of these food court thing, and they sold samosas. Well, we ordered a couple of samosas. The idiots, they refried these samosas that had been cooked earlier and now were room temperature. So instead of I'd rather have them just cold or microwaved. They refried them and just ruined it. It was just drenched in unnecessary grease. Oh, it was nasty. But if they're fresh, yeah.
There are so many good places to eat
Yeah.
around Atlanta.
Yeah.
The place that we go at Cheerians, their hot bar, you can also get soup on the side. It's actually complimentary. It comes with every dish. But we don't take it because we don't have a good way to transport it because they're flimsy packaging. But one time we took it outside and we took it to their little eating booth area and we had it. And this was at the Cheerians across town.
That's right.
And that was phenomenal. It was Sambar, I think.
Sandbar, yeah.
And that was so good.
You're making me want to go back to Madras Mantra to the buffet. Oh God, that's the best food I've ever eaten in my life.
When they do the dosas, and that is
It's a giant,
It's a giant
very
thin
thin pancake. Crepe, yeah.
and it has
With a
spiced potato peas and other things in it.
Right.
And it's delicate and gentle, and oh my God, it's so
It's
good.
crispy and light, and it's a great big pancake thing, like as big as a dinner plate or even bigger. And then they put this spiced potato mixture down the middle and then roll it up in a big tube, and you can dip it in, I guess, coconut chutney.
Dippy was a place we used to go, and we decided we were going to take the kids once and for all, and we were going to introduce them to Indian food. And we bought the large, what's it called again? Dosa for them, and had them make it mild potatoes. So they were eating that, and they get the potato part, and they're like, "Oh, this is good." And then we had them try the lentil donuts. We put it in the coconut chutney, like, "Oh, this is good." And then we had them try the vermicelli rice dish, and it was sweet. And the goulash, which is sweet. It's like pancakes. It's so sweet.
It is. It's like a little pancake turned
Pancake
into a
ball.
sphere, and it's got a honey.
And after that, the
Syrup.
kids started eating Indian food. And we would take them to these buffets so they could try a little bit. We would say, "I want you to try this. Try this." And they would take their plate and they would find out what they liked. We, of course, would eat what was left on the plate. Then they would go back up there and they would get what they liked. Reed's quickly became the spinach paneer.
That's what I was going to say. I think overall, everything after it's said and done, my favorite Indian dish, especially on like a buffet, is the palak paneer, which is a creamy spinach dish with paneer, which is an Indian cheese. It comes in cubes. It's very similar to tofu. especially cooked like that.
It's made the same way.
But it's
that
a
you would make
little-
cottage cheese, true cottage
Right,
cheese.
right.
It is an actual cottage cheese in that variety.
But it's a little firmer, and it's something you can make into cubes. You can cut it, and then it stays together. It doesn't melt.
It doesn't curdle like
Right,
cottage cheese.
right.
So,
But it can be either a little spicy or it can be very mild and creamy. It's very good.
my tastes have changed over the years with the Indian food. I used to always default to the chana masala, which is the chickpea and tomato.
Mm-hmm.
And now I prefer the potato dishes with peas and such. But honestly, when you go in there and you get a good batch of those green beans or the cabbage dishes, it's unlike anything else up there.
Yeah.
And a good Indian buffet should have, number one, it should be vegetarian. And that way you can try a variety of different vegetable dishes. And you're not just stuck going with, the goat or something. But you have crisp breads and you have soft breads. You
Drenched
have
in melted butter.
different types of dals. Some are thick and some are a smooth liquid dal.
Right.
And then the vegetables, well, start with the rice. Some of the rices can be eaten alone, and they have simple rices that have something as simple as cumin seeds and pepper in it.
Right.
And then there are vegetable-laden rices that are fabulous on their own.
With sort of a saffron type
And then there are
coloring.
sweet rices where they put in things like pistachios and the yellow raisins. What are they called?
Golden
And
raisins.
then you have basic rice, and you can put your curries on top of it, or if a curry's thick enough, you can eat it alone. And it shouldn't be just curries. They have potatoes and they have peas and they have okra, but then they have bottle gourd, and they have fenugreek and other types of leafy greens that you would not have. And then they take common things like green beans, cabbage, and black-eyed peas.
And sometimes okra, which they call ladyfingers.
Yes, bindi.
Bindi,
And
that's right,
bindi, yeah. And they do combinations of these things. So it isn't always a tomato base. It isn't always a potato base.
Right.
They go out of their way to make certain that the spices are unique to the dishes. There are complementary things. Some things were without garlic. Most things have some sort of onion in it. But they have other dishes that are completely without onion. Is it because of the Hare Krishnas or the other group, the Jains?
No idea.
But there's one group that doesn't do garlic.
Well, Bonnie mentioned the concept of the good Indian buffet. Let me tell you, a good Indian buffet is the kind of buffet that has so many good dishes that you wind up not eating everything you wanted to eat because you wanted to eat.
Yeah.
You wind up being
And
like,
you
oh my God, I didn't get to
have
try
a couple
everything.
of different types of simple desserts at the end.
Well, that's what I was about to. I was about to mention the desserts. For years, like there's gulab, which is a really good dessert, but there's also for years they always had carrot halwa, which is basically carrots that have been slivered to death and then they're cooked in a very thin honey sauce. So we got used to eating that.
Actually, it's jaggery and honey. And
So one
jaggery is
time,
rough raw sugar.
right? So one time, and this has only happened like maybe twice.
They
We're
have-
used to having carrot halwa, but this time they had something called beet halwa, where they had slivered beets and made it the same way. And let me tell you, this stuff was fantastic,
It was
especially.
different from the carrot halwa because they didn't use the jaggery. They depended upon the sweetness of the beets themselves.
Right, and the thing is, I like to have a little taste of dessert after I've eaten, but if it's too sweet, it
Yeah,
ruins
that's
it.
unsavory.
Right. So after you've eaten all these vegetable dishes with various levels of spice and various levels of creaminess, something like carrot halwa or beet halwa is perfect
And
because
you don't need
it's a
little.
vegetable too.
Yeah.
But
Now, what's that ras malai stuff you used to
ras
like?
malai, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the greatest, best dishes I've ever eaten in my life. First time I ever had it.
Dairy-based.
Right. It's almost as if they took ricotta cheese and mixed it with melted vanilla ice cream. The first time I ever had it,
Of pistachio and almond or something?
yes, it has pistachio, and I think it does have almond. First time I ever had it was in California. People I was staying with, the husband was from India, and he was taking us around, showing us different things, and I tried ras malai, and I thought,
It's mind blowing.
this is the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. And this place he took us, you could buy it by the pound or by the quart or whatever.
Yeah. You know, we have not gotten that.
We have not got, I can't believe I forgot all about that till just this
You
second.
know what we should do?
What?
We should rent 2 of these cabins, put the kids and their partners in the other cabin,
Yeah.
and we should have them check in and get our room information. And that morning, we should come up through Buford and Decatur and fill the car with all of these luxurious foods and drive up 85 here to Gainesville and bring food for everybody.
And then we
feast.
called them and say, everything's laid out, come over and we'll have a feast,
No,
you
more
know?
than that, they're going to have to help us unload the damn car. But we can go and buy ras malai, whatever it is, fresh. We can buy the non-fresh. That would be a fabulous idea. It would take a couple $100, but we could get cheeses from DeKalb Farmers Market.
You know,
We could get all the Indian hot foods and such. And as long as we just warm them up here instead of frying them again, they'll be fine.
you know, normally when you have so-called cooking facilities in like a hotel, the microwave is about as big as a shoebox. The microwave in this, yeah, this is an over the stove, cabinet installed big size microwave. This is the industrial thing. Everything in this cottage, I mean, the refrigerator, the doors are, you can tell it's quality because the doors are thick to be as insulated as possible.
These are not cheap.
Yeah.
Cheaply made.
Yeah. We took a walk down around the back of this place earlier today, and this is a well-built little structure here.
It is. It would be nice for us to plan something with the kids sometime.
Well, yeah, that idea is good because we can have a little jazz going, and we could.
We'll have the kids come in and we could go to Buford and pick up all of the chocolates and sweets and go to the European bakery there in the store, pick up a variety of different cakes. You know that Reed has not taken Andrew to Atlanta to do grocery shopping yet
Really?
at the markets? I don't know why. I guess because he works so much.
If we were to do something like that, I would prefer that we do it at this time of year or even colder, because I don't think this would be as pleasant in like June
Oh,
up here.
absolutely
No,
not.
no.
Yeah.
And plus, it'd be more crowded in June, I think. I like it up here because I haven't seen but one of the other cottages occupied on this weekend. I'm shocked at that.
Well, I know that Reed and Andrew are going to go to Gulf Shores next year. His mom has arranged a condo down there, and she and her sister are hosting at the condo, and Reed and Andrew are responsible for groceries and restaurant meals. That's their contribution. So I don't know how much, I think it's going to be a full week for them. And Gulf Shores is one of those places that has amusement parks and stuff.
Where's this at? Florida?
Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Oh, Alabama. Is that the same as Gulf Breeze, where they had the UFO sightings 30 years ago?
I have no idea about any of that.
I think that was.
No, they have all the traditional things. They have the water slide parks, and they have the fishing charters, and then
Well-
all these other little charter boats, and they have what do you call that? Like Coney Island, it has a big
Boardwalk.
boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
And they have an amusement park on the boardwalk that has the Ferris wheel.
Right.
And so it should be fun for them. It's not Panama City Redneck Riviera. It's more of an upgrade from that.
Years ago, 30-something years ago, there was a famous series of UFO sightings at this place called Gulf Breeze
I don't even know.
Florida or Alabama, one of the two. Anyway, there was a book about it and all this shit. Anyway, friend of mine, his father was big into UFO
I know
stuff.
who you're talking about, yeah.
So my friend and I.
Is he dead now? His father?
No. His parents are divorced. His mother's got cancer. She's bedridden.
She's been dead. She's been on the verge of death for years now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, my friend lived upstairs in the family house. This is back when his parents were still together, and so we get over there. We walk in and go upstairs, and his mother says, "Turn on the TV. They're doing something about the Gulf Breeze sightings or whatever." So it's like a 5-10 minute news report on it, and as soon as it ended, they were watching it downstairs as well. And as soon as it was over, his mother calls up the stairs. "What'd you think?" And my friend's like, whatever. And referring to her husband, she goes, "Tommy says they're here."
Oh, Lord.
Oh my God.
That boy's not growing up and becoming Trump supporter.
And it turned out to be a whole hoax. It was just bullshit somebody cooked up locally to get some tourism bucks coming in. It was just...
Apparently, Roswell, New Mexico is a huge tourist site.
Oh, yeah.
All this hokey UFO stuff.
The locals
And,
make
you
good
know,
money
if you're
off that.
driving through, you should absolutely stop at a place like that. It's like stopping at a place that has the world's biggest ball of yarn.
Well, yeah,
or
that-
dinosaurs.
That's a
on the
whole
road.
thing that started back in the 30s, Roadside America.
Yeah.
You know, see the USA in your Chevrolet, and they had all these tourist attractions.
Get
People
your
would
picks
cook
on
up
Route 66.
all across America. And, you know, biggest cowboy statue made out of tin, or biggest ball of yarn, or
Which brings
God
me
knows what.
to one of your favorite cartoons.
Oh, okay. One of the greatest single panel gag cartoons of all time, and arguably the best cartoon that B. Cliben ever drew.
It's an homage
It's
to the roadside
it's an
attraction.
homage to the roadside attractions. It's this roadside burger stand in the middle of nowhere, and it's this giant statue of this cowgirl on her knees, and she's pointing down towards her crotch, and in her crotch is the little burger stand. And over her head says, "Eat," like "eat me." And down below, there's one guy at the cheeseburger stand, and the guy behind the counter says, "I only sell cheeseburgers, but I sell a lot of cheeseburgers."
Yeah, eat here.
Oh my God, fantastic cartoon. B. Cliben, or Cliban, or however you pronounce it, his sense of humor just connects with me so much. And you know what's funny? I was thinking about that just the other day in connection with Edward Gorey.
Does your friend Steve like him?
Oh, Steve loves B. Cliben. But anyway, both Edward Gorey and B. Cliben made most of their money by coming out with books that were all about cat cartoons. And it was such a big success, they made a series of these cat books, and they had calendars featuring their cat cartoons, and, you know, but totally different drawing styles. Well, this is our longest episode ever, and I think we need to call it
It's like
quits.
An hour and a half, isn't it?
It is an hour and 19 minutes.
Christ.
So we are going to spend tonight here, and in the morning we got to wrap up and go because we got to be out of here by 11.
That'll be fun.
What do you mean, packing up?
Yeah. We've already eaten away at the food, and I've got boxes. I have baker's boxes, which collapse, and then disposable paper ring boxes. So we just put all the glassware in one thing and all the crackers in another.
So I got to tell you, this has been a learning experience for me because it makes me realize just how addictive I've become to TV and the internet.
You watch TV today.
Well, cause once I found out that I wanted to see what was on, and also I just had this terrible fear that something had happened to Kamala. I was like, I turned on the TV, oh, tragic news from Texas. Kamala made the mistake of visiting a Texas border town, and the local sheriff mistook her for a Negro and blew her head off.
Mistook her for? You sound like Trump.
Mistook her for a Mexican.
Look, say goodbye. Goodbye.
All right, we're out of here. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.